All right, look, let's just go back to the bigger question here then. And it's I don't even know that it's Manziel versus Hoyer at this point. It's why didn't Johnny go in yesterday? Is that not the bigger question?
It's a huge question, yeah. I think at the end of the day, why not? Now, they did have the lead in the game, and because of the quarterback stuff, this is a day we really should talk about how great the defense played, how they showed up, how they went about their business, how Craig Robertson played out of his mind yesterday. Joe Hayden was good. I think you can only give somebody so many opportunities.
Where'd Jim Leonard come from?
Jim Leonard is it's just that, but it's the position. And if you want to get into why Coach Pettin likes certain guys, Jim Leonard is not the most talented guy in the world, but he knows how that defense works. He knows where he's supposed to be. Same thing with Tayshaun Gibson when he was supposed to be there. Is he the best athlete in the NFL? But he led the league in interceptions. That defense was phenomenal yesterday. They should have walked off the field as winners, not as losers. Now, we can go back to that 4th and inches play, and it was close, but Boom Herron did what he had to do. But if you've watched Andrew Luck, have you seen him play that bad so far in his career?
No.
He looked awful yesterday.
They did a nice job with him. All right, let's go to what do you want to do here, Eric?
Donnie in Paynesville's lined up.
Donnie in Paynesville. What do you got for us, Donnie? Donnie on Skype.
I'll tell you what. I'm pretty peeved at the whole Hoyer situation, the way it all went down. I'm really not as mad at him as I am at Johnny for showing up at 11 o'clock in the morning. I mean, he wasn't ready, so you can't really be mad that Pettin didn't put him in, but I'm just surprised that we didn't get a solid offensive game plan in the passing game. I don't know. It just wasn't good yesterday, but the defense played phenomenal. I'm very, very, very proud of how they've done.
Well, Donnie, any question on who the starting quarterback should be next week for you?
I'd put Johnny in. I mean, because we're at the bottom of the pack if we're even still in the hunt, so what do you got to lose?
Right. He's right. What do you have to lose at this point in time? And the weird thing is they're still in it. They're not in it. I know you said they're 12th, but if you win out, you got an opportunity. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. They're a game and a half out with 3 games to go.
Well, it's just hard, though. You look at it, you look at 12th, and 13th is the Jets with 2 wins.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so that's where you are. That's how packed up.
Well, Donnie,
they're the worst of the 7-win teams.
Right. Donnie, were you more bothered by the running game or that – because the running game was good in the first half – or that Josh Gordon seemed non-existent yesterday?
I'd say a little bit of both. I mean, to me that the running game, it worked in the first half. You should have just stuck with that. And I really believe that Josh Gordon, they should have just went to him with the screens, because that seems to me, since he came back, that's where he's been most effective in the screen game. And he's getting, 10, 15, 20 yards down the field, so should have just kept with that.
All right, Donnie, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good seeing you, Don.
in.
All right, buddies.
Coach Roeder, you want to go to Dave first? What do you want to do here, Eric, the referee?
What's that? Sorry, I'm on the phone. I'm actually trying to be...
Oh, you're actually producing today?
Yeah.
All right, then let's go to Kenny Rhoda, the KennyRhoda.com studios. Hi, Kenny. How are you? Coach Rhoda this morning.
Coach Rhoda Hayes.
I'm doing all right this morning. The Buckeyes came through over the weekend. Unfortunately, the Browns wasted a golden opportunity, a stellar performance by the defense, a game they should have won, and they came up short, and they lose by 1 point to Andrew Luck, who played one of his worst games, I think, since he's been in the NFL, or at least since his rookie season.
All right, your thoughts on the quarterback situation. Obviously, there's more to the picture than any of us know right now, right?
There has to be. They showed the film of Johnny walking in at 11 o'clock yesterday. I guess he wasn't technically late, so everybody comes in at a different time, and it was his 22nd birthday the night before, so who knows what transpired there. But I was all for staying with Hoyer for this week, giving him another opportunity. And he got that opportunity and failed miserably. It wasn't all his fault, but I think a lot of it was. And I think you know what you have now in Brian Hoyer. He has started 16 games. He's 10-6 now as a starter, so you have that in the back of your mind. You have the film on him. You don't have a lot with the exception of 2 drives with Johnny Manziel, and you're a game and a half out with 3 to go. The playoffs now are unlikely. So I think the time is now to make the switch if, and this is big if Johnny Manziel is ready to act like a pro and understands what comes with being a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I think you know the answer to that. And I think they're answering it right now, Kenny, by not playing him. But I got to say this. Some of the things I'm hearing people complain about when it comes to Johnny, aren't a surprise. This is who we thought Johnny would be, right? So who are the Browns to question it now? You drafted him in the first round. What did you expect?
Right. He is who we thought he was. So Denny Green said that very well many years ago. You knew what you were getting into when you made this pick. And so I think at this point, you've got to give him a look from the standpoint, all right, announce it today, give him the whole week. Maybe, his attention span is short. I don't know, right? But if by naming him a starter on Monday grabs his attention and will keep him, Jim Thome term, the focus will be there from Monday all the way through next Sunday, and he knows that. I think you have to take a look. You used a first-round pick on it.
Right.
So you thought enough of him to move back up 22 so the Chiefs wouldn't get him at 23, to take him because you thought he had the chance to be the quarterback of the future for you. You don't know that watching him on the sidelines. All the other rookie quarterbacks have played this year, and lo and behold, Teddy Bridgewater got another win yesterday, right? Derek Carr upset the San Francisco 49ers. So all these other guys are now, maybe they carry themselves professionally better than Johnny Manziel. Maybe they've studied the playbook and they know more of the playbook than Johnny Manziel. But I could argue that Brian Hoyer may know the entire playbook and wrote a few extra pages to add to it, and they're still not scoring points with that.
Right.
So the time is now for me to make the switch and see what you have with Johnny Manziel at home before you go out on the road for the final two games.
Other two stories with Johnny that everybody getting into. Jay Glazer yesterday comes out and says the Browns weren't enthused that he was at a Cavs game Tuesday night before they were going to make the starting.
Right.
You shake your head, though, but Andy, you're the starting court.
Yeah, but it's Tuesday. Look, you know what? There's a lot of things. Look,
Okay.
it shows up at 11. I don't like that. There's a lot of things, but I don't have a problem with him going to the Cavs.
You
game.
don't. But see,
It's his day off. I mean, it's
We're
Tuesday.
I get everything you're saying, but as a quarterback of a football team, there's a time and place. And you know what most coaches are going to say? And whether it's right or wrong. Hey, Johnny, can't you wait until after January to go to a basketball game? You can go to every basketball game you want to. It's a different position. It's not cornerback. It's not tackle. You're the leader.
He's going around the corner to go watch his his local team.
But you know what, Dre? I got killed on Twitter for bringing this point up. I said the same thing. Oh, Johnny must know he's not starting, so he's out at the Cavs game. And remember, Mike Pettin said he told the guys they knew
Wednesday
on Tuesday,
morning. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So maybe he told Johnny that morning when he met individually with both Hoyer and Manziel, and so Manziel figured, all right, I'm not starting, so I'm going to go out to the Cavs game. I thought either way, he should have been home studying because, A, if he was the starter, he should have been home watching film and studying the playbook. B, if he wasn't, he was a play away or maybe 2 or 3 series away if Hoyer played poorly again from being in there and finishing the game. So there's that professionalism that, again, Dre, you pointed it out. They knew what they were getting into when they
Let me
drafted
just
him.
say, hang on one second.
But it pisses him off because he doesn't know the plays.
Yeah, I got it.
If
You know what, though?
If he knew the
I'll
plays,
go back to your other point, though. They never should have drafted him. They knew what they were getting themselves into.
Maybe
I don't
that's
have a
it.
problem with a guy going to a Cavs game on their off day.
Let me
They
ask
should
you
be
this.
working
Better than
so
being
hard
on
6 days a
Let me-
week.
let me
Hang
ask you
on a
this.
second. They should be working so hard 6 days a week that they need to blow off steam on that off day.
But he isn't. That's the point. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Would Peyton Manning be at a Denver Nuggets game on a Tuesday night? Have you ever seen that?
I don't
Have you ever
watch any Nuggets games.
No,
I don't know.
you know I'm right. With Tom Brady on a Tuesday night, one of the biggest weeks of the season for him, would he be at a
If
Boston Celtics
Giselle
game?
said yes,
No,
he
you
would
know,
be.
you know the answer. You know what the answer. Any quarterback that's about anything that matters, their ass would not be at a basketball game when you're going in a stretch run for the playoffs. They wouldn't. They would not. Name me one that
Especially
would.
if you're a rookie and you need to learn more of the playbook. I've been told he doesn't know the entire playbook.
he can't even
so
start
they
I
do
playing.
believe it.
in the plays that
Again,
he would
I'm
be
not
able
mad
to
at you
run.
guys. I'm mad at them. Why did they draft this guy? They knew exactly what they were getting. That's the
You're
point.
right. That's true.
What do you care? Are you kidding me? You didn't know this when you saw him on a Swan. You didn't know this when he got kicked out of the Manning camp?
Yeah, the Manning
When he got kicked out of that, you knew all these things. Don't be
Maybe
surprised.
they're trying to discipline him so he plays like a Brown, and until he is, like a young colt, right? They're trying to break him until he understands what playing like a Brown means, and once he understands that, he'll get his opportunity to start. Having said that, then they should have never put him in the game last week.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'll buy
to
that.
get everybody's hopes up.
That's a
Eric,
great
the referee,
point.
what do you
That's
got?
a good point.
No, I agree with you guys. I mean, you knew what you were getting yourself into when you drafted Manziel. I mean, but the time now is to see what you got because there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out. I mean, I think Manziel's got 3 games to not only prove how good he can be, but what he can do if he's a starting quarterback. I mean, how does he handle himself? What's he going to do on his days off? If he's given the job, is he still going to go to Cavs games, or is he going to be more serious now? I don't know. We'll
Eric,
see.
I got no problem with him going to Cavs games if he can call a play. You know, like
Right.
if you can do your job, you can do whatever the hell you want. But when you're not doing your job at a good level, you do have to care about all these other things that are going on around you.
But what if this happens? If he fails a little bit here as a rookie, maybe he realizes, all right, I got to get my act together. I got to actually hit the books.
What makes you think that? It's the same reason why you don't think that Josh Gordon's not going to get suspended again.
Exactly.
He's been suspended every time at every level.
Exactly.
You think Josh is going to have another problem somewhere down the road? Yes or no?
Probably.
Probably.
I'm
What do you
hoping-
think?
Most likely.
I mean, you are what you are. It's not going to change.
No.
You think
Especially to get
Manziel's
money.
going to suddenly have an
You
epiphany?
hope it does, though, because this is the most important position in all of sports.
Yes.
And maybe at some point he'll realize that this is different than college. This is one of 32 starting jobs in the National Football League at quarterback. Like I said, I think it's the most important position in any sport, period. Okay, you go as far as your quarterback takes you.
Right.
And unfortunately for the Browns, I'm looking down at it now, the quarterback rating of Brian Hoyer, 50.7 over the last 4 games. They're 1-3. So for me, even with everything we talked about Johnny and maybe his lack of professionalism, I've got to see what I have in him, so at least I have an inkling, a little bit of an understanding of what he can actually do on the field, and maybe if he's given this responsibility, that he will grow up a little bit and respect it more and not be out of the Cavs game during the week until the season is over.
Hang on one second. I'm talking to Ryan Leaf. Hang on one second.
Oh.
Ryan, what? Oh, you're getting extradited back to town? Okay, I got you. He is what he is. Ryan Leaf was what he was.
Right.
And
Well-
you know what? Just expect it.
Well, no.
You give him the ball, let him go at this
Some
point.
guys do mature, though. Some guys do grow up. I'll give you a perfect example, and this is from my personal life, and somebody needs to do this with Johnny. When I was 19 years old going to college, my dad said, hey, man, be willing to give up the next 4, 5, 6 years of your life, and then you can do whatever the hell you want to do. But give up these next 4 or 5 years of your life so you can become or figure out who and what you want to be. Now, did I follow that advice perfectly? No. But in the back of my mind, I always knew, give up this time to enjoy the rest of your life. Somebody needs to go to Johnny and says, Johnny, all the stuff you're doing right now, you can do, and it'll be 10 times better if you get engaged to what really matters right now. This opportunity is only going to last so long. You know that. Kenny knows that. Tim knows that. I know that. Is anyone telling Johnny that? Because in 3 years, nobody, if this continues, what you just said is exactly what we'll laugh about Johnny.
Here's
We'll
the thing,
we'll lump him with Jamarcus, Ryan Leaf, RG3. We'll just lump him together with every guy that just wasted their opportunity.
Go ahead.
If Manziel puts up, though, no one will care about his habits. I mean, look
That's
at
right.
look at
Yeah,
Joe
you're right.
Joe Namath. Was Joe Namath a partier? I mean, granted, that was
Different time,
40 years
different
ago.
place, right.
But still, I mean,
Jim
no
McMahon
one
comes
cared
to
if
mind,
he
guys,
was-
right? Jim McMahon was a party animal. He enjoyed his life, Spuds McKenzie type quarterback.
But
back in
the
day,
point
right?
here is, though, and I
Granted,
think that he's proved
he
it.
had the most unbelievable defense around him, and Walter Payton in the backfield. So maybe he could slack off and
Hey.
be who he was. But at some point, it's got to sink in for Johnny.
But the point here is that Mike Pettin is going to have to change to want Johnny Manziel to come in. If Manziel comes in and has success over the last 3 weeks, then Mike Pettin's going to be the one that has to change. Agree or disagree?
I don't know because
He's going to have to bite
old
the bullet
school.
because, yeah, if he's old school, Johnny's not.
Well, we'll have to see about that. The other thing I'll say.
He'll have to adjust. I
Right.
don't want to say change
No.
completely. He'll have to adjust a little bit if Johnny comes in and they win 2 out of the last 3 games that he starts, and they finish 9-7, just missing the playoff.
The one thing I'll say, I've seen this. Peyton Manning goes out and drinks, has a good time. He picks and chooses his times to do it. Tom Brady goes out and drinks. You've seen pictures. He goes out with his wife. He picks and chooses the correct
Most
time.
of those are in the offseason, though, aren't they, Trey?
Exactly, and that's
How
what
about
I'm saying. I've been to the combine in Indianapolis when Peyton Manning was
I've
a quarterback, and he's out till 3, 4 in the morning, and we all see it. And nobody thinks, and he has a good time. But nobody judges him because there's no football game this week.
Yep.
It's that simple.
All right, Kenny, we're going to come back to you a little bit later. We're going to talk to you. We'll catch up with your we didn't even do Kenny's keys. We'll get to those in a bit. Thanks,
Okay,
Kenny.
sounds good, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you in a bit. What, Eric?